Hi gang, welcome back. Thanks for being here. I'm Chest. This is the Scapegoat Club where I just talk about my experience as the scapegoat in a narcissistic family unit. And I hope that if you like and find the content interesting, then you'll subscribe and you'll drop me a note and say hi. And I think the more that we talk about our experiences, the less we feel isolated, the more we feel we have support, and hopefully the more we can continue to make ourselves healthy and make this kind of abuse, this emotional and very covert abuse, a lot more well known in our society, and hopefully build up a lot less tolerance for it. Anyway, today I wanted to have a chat about something that's on my mind, which is going no contact. And I recently posted a video where I had received a letter from my mom, and I had posted it under the title "This is Emotional Abuse" because it was, and it is, and it was a lot of gaslighting, and this didn't happen, and I'm just a perfect parent, and we haven't done anything wrong, and we just want to be in the family and all that kind of stuff, when they have consistently and very, very deliberately and overtly abused me, and they've ignored my my attempts to kind of have a conversation about it and try and rectify things. So I had a comment that said, just go no contact. And that is completely legitimate. And just time out. I'm not a therapist, and what I'm going to talk about here is just my thoughts. And I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I don't know. That it's a very, very complicated dynamic. I think especially with narcissistic parents and the child. It's not black and white, and but what might be right for me in my situation at this time may not be right for you in your situation. So please just take it as it is, just me thinking out loud. So anyway, one of the comments I had was just go no contact. Don't deal with these people. They're just going to suck you back in. You'll be a part of that never-ending dialogue, and it's never going to get anywhere, and you're just going to end losing more of yourself and your time into it. And I totally agree and respect that. And so yes, going no contact is a very good and effective way, I think, of removing yourself from a narcissistic relationship, and it may be the only one that really works for some people in some situations. But for this situation, I am not 100% sure that it's the right decision for me, and I just wanted to explain why. I should also explain, so this is in relation to my mother. My mom is from what I can tell, she's what I've heard referred to as a vulnerable narcissist, where she's very much a poor me. She's a bit of a victim, and she's a very kind of a minimal character. She's a bit of a mousy kind of person, but she kind of gripes and moans about her lot in life, if I'm going to be blunt. She was also not, let's be really clear, not a supportive mother at all, and I have some horrible memories of things that she did to me as a child, laughing at me when I told her I was upset about things, and just putting me down for things that weren't true, and all sorts of stuff like that. So I've never, with my mum, I've never had a close relationship. I've always known that it wasn't good, and but I've always kind of in the back of my mind felt, I think, a little bit sorry for her, because she's never happy, and she's always downtrodden by my dad, and she just never seems to enjoy life. Honestly, and this is hand on heart, this is really sad, I don't have a memory of her ever genuinely smiling or laughing ever. And I just think, what a sad life. What it genuinely, it's just, that's a tough life. Now, I'm sure there's a ton of you screaming at me going, empath, you're being too empathetic, you're just giving your narcissist too much, credit, and you're falling into their sub story. I hear you, I know, I've got that dialogue going on as well, and I'm not discounting that. I'm just keeping an open mind for everything, right? So that's the relationship with my mother. I should also say I have a very narcissistic father who's a lot more controlling. I actually, weirdly enough, I had a better relationship with him for a long time. I didn't think I realized what... He's the kind of guy who's actually all right to get on with as long as he's got his own way. But it's when he doesn't that things go very badly wrong. And so I think for a long time I have maybe a few things more in common with him. And so actually we got on okay. But then I realized, that he's a very, very controlling person. And so when I said, hey, I'm not going to do that your way, and that's not okay, that's when, the gloves really came off. As an adult. As a kid, he was also physically abusive. Very controlling, and so I don't know, he was physically abusive towards me. I don't have memories of whether he was to my sister or my mother, but putting it back in the context of my mum, I think she's been controlled for most of her life. And so with my dad, I now know that he's a pretty malignant kind of guy. He's not, he comes across as nice and jovial, but deep down, beneath that, he's not a nice guy. So I'm not considering breaking no contact with him. I should also talk about my sister, who is a very interesting case. And if you've seen any of my videos talking about the legal problems I have, I actually don't know if she's a narcissist or she's more sociopathic, possibly psychopathic, because she has broken the law deliberately and dragged me into it and then denied it all and tried to frame me, which I think is pretty, as far as I can tell, that's if the narcissists are here, then she's right up here. She is especially manipulative, very, very clever about it, and has no qualms about doing whatever it is she needs, whether it's within the realms of decency or the law or anything. She just goes for it. So in that context, in terms of having a relationship with that kind of narcissist, no way. I know when I'm beaten. I know when I'm way better out there. Honest to God, she's the kind of person that I have nightmares about, and I am not considering having any contact with her. But going back, so I think talking in general about narcissists and going no contact, it's definitely a way to get away from the abuse, get away from that kind of manipulative relationship and getting yourself back, which is, absolutely 100%. If that's the right thing for you and what you need to do, go for it. And I think from my perspective, with the more dangerous narcissists in my life, absolutely, that's where I'm going. I'm not even gonna think about arguing. With my mom, though, she's a more vulnerable narcissist, and our relationships thus far has been really one where, for a long, long time, I've had her number, and I she doesn't bother me as much as the others. I think it's because she doesn't control me, and she doesn't have that level of nastiness that really frightens me. I just feel sorry for her. And maybe it's because it's been going on like this for a long time, and I've known and I've never been that close to her, that I've kind of evolved this relationship where I just kind of I almost don't care anymore. And so I should also say, this is the other big piece of the puzzle, which I didn't share before, is that both my parents are elderly, and my mom has a terminal illness. And I think when it comes down to it, this is the thing that I'm grappling with, is that if I go no contact, or stay no contact, then I'm the kind of person that says, no, I'm going to reframe that. I am not the kind of person that says, oh, you've got terminal cancer, whatever, I don't care. Sucks to be you. La la la, I'm not listening. That's just not who I am. And even though we have this horrible relationship, and I don't have a lot of time for her. I don't subscribe to any of the stuff that she's done, and I don't want her to make me into that kind of person that can't say, I'm really sorry that you have this horrible disease. That must be horrible for you, because it must be. And maybe that makes me an empathetic loser who's just going to get walked all over and abused again. But I actually don't think that's the case. I'm thinking it through and I'm working it through, and I haven't done anything yet, and I'm going to think about it for a lot longer. But I want to be the kind of person that can detach myself from a situation and say, oh, that thing that's happened to you, that's tough. I'm sorry to hear that. But it doesn't mean that I then get sucked into a relationship that I have to do something I don't want to do, and I have to compromise who I am and have all my boundaries stepped over. So right now I'm not comfortable with speaking to my mum, or definitely not visiting her. She has asked to talk to me and to email and all those things, and I'm not going to do that. But I also want to be the kind of person that says, I'm sorry you're ill. And I don't want her to take that part of me away, because that is the part of me that, to be able to genuinely say, I'm sorry for you, but I'm going to carry on with my life and do what's right for me because I'm healthy. That to me is healing, and that to me sets me as far away and as far apart from a narcissist as I can be. If I go no contact, and to me, in this case, she's not threatening me. She's not, I mean, that letter wasn't great, but it didn't cut me up inside. I didn't lose sleep over it. I was like, oh, here we go. Same old, you know? I've heard that for so long, and I've known for so long. And so it's actually not a problem, and it's not a threat for me to write to her occasionally and say, sorry about that. There is also that small part of me that says I don't want to give any ammunition to my nasty father and sister to say, oh, Chess knew about that mum was ill and never said or did anything. And that would be ammunition for them. That's not really the main reason I'm doing it, because they're going to take shots at me regardless. But I think when it comes down to it, this is actually something I want to do. And I shouldn't stop them that's the whole point. That's the whole point, isn't it? I don't want a narcissist to stop me from doing what I want to do. And so if I want to say, I'm really sorry that you have cancer, I should say, I'm really sorry that you have cancer. But that's it, end of story. I am sorry. So, that was my thought on going no contact. And I think if you're in this situation where you're trying to decide what to do and what you should you do? How do you escape from this relationship? What's the best thing for you? It's hard to know, and I think first of all, be really kind to yourself. This is not black and white at all. Every relationship is so unique, and only you know what is right for you. And there is a lot of, and I think the advice out there about, going no contact does come from a really solid place in terms of you need to look after yourself. And if you're being actively, emotionally abused or a lot, you can't, I don't know how you can really kind of take care of your emotional and yourself and have a healthy life. I couldn't do it. And so distancing yourself is key. And one way, and a very effective way, and I think the easiest way to distance yourself is to go no contact. It's very simple in a lot of ways. And I think, and I had that rule in my head for a long time, actually. It was like, I cannot deal with you right now. I have to look after myself. And so I have no choice but to go no contact right now. But the one thing I haven't done, and I don't want to do, is ever say, this is forever, this is permanent. I don't want to ever give time frames on that to myself or to the people in my family, because things do change. So if you are in this situation, then you need to do what's right for you right now. And if you're not sure, I think no contact is a pretty good kind of backup idea. I do like Grayrock though, and the idea that you don't share anything important with them. You just talk about the minimal. And so that's I'm thinking about writing back to my mum saying, and it was basically going to say, I'm really sorry you're ill. I'm not going to, increase our contact at this time due to my own health concerns. And so I'm contacting, I'm acknowledging, but I'm not engaging. I'm not giving any valuable information. I'm not engaging in any kind of discussion or argument. It's being true to myself, saying what I want to say. And at the end of the day, when my mom dies, and if I don't acknowledge her illness, if I just say la la la, I'm not listening, I don't want to know you, I hate you because of all the nasty things you did to me, I don't know, I just won't be very proud of myself, I want to be able to look back on this and say, well, that was a pretty shitty situation. I did the best I could, and I was as true to myself as I could be, given what I had. And right now, this is being true to myself. We'll see if it changes tomorrow. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for saying hi and dropping a comment. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Or if you think it's something that someone would benefit from, please share as well. It's information for everybody. And as always, please take care of yourselves, and sending you lots of love, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.